Welcome back, welcome back. Let that shit fade out. Let's go. Today, fam, we gonna get into health. A lot of people need to talk about it. A lot of people need this shit in their life, fam. Like on some real shit, I'ma dub this motherfucker, you are what you eat. Now, this is not to get confused with just what you put in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? This has everything to do with what you're watching, what you listening to, what you hear, you know, what you smell. Whatever appeals to all five senses is what you consume. And understand you are what you eat. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this shit today is because far too long I've been seeing this shit nonstop. It's like it's on repeat across the board. Everybody saying, oh, please pray for so-and-so. They got cancer, XYZ. F cancer, XYZ. You know, all of this talk. But it's like the lifestyle that you motherfuckers mostly perpetuate is of some, you know, I hate to use the term, but lower vibrational shit. And y'all know that, fam. And it's crazy because, like, we know the risks that come with too much consumption of anything. Hell, you can drink too much water and die from that. That's why I promote balance. It's all about how you balance your shit out, fam. I wouldn't suggest or say to go either way, go full raw vegan and all that shit. To those that's actually able to do that and is living with it fine, salute to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I need to get some recipes and all that shit from y'all, shit, straight up. But ultimately, I want to promote balance. I understand it's hard for a lot of people to practice just anything for a long period of time that's going to take you out your comfort zone, but it's necessary. You'd be surprised on what a fucking 5-day, 7-day cleanse can do for you. It'll just revitalize you. It'll have you full of fucking energy, full of life. Don't even sleep that much. You just be full of fucking energy and shit. You be feeling light. Just move around like it ain't shit. You have a lot of fucking stamina in the gym. It's just ridiculous. And you got a lot of stamina in other areas too, you feel me? Real shit. But when we talking about health though, like on some real shit, like it's a lot of people out here that's just messed up internally. This all boils down, it all boils back to what you put in your body is what you are. So if you're eating a bunch of dead animals that have been put through the slaughterhouse, died under stress, you know, stuff like that. What makes you think that the energy from that animal isn't being processed through your body and your DNA and mixing with that shit? You see, we are people of the earth. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Tree shit. You feel me? Looking just like a tree sitting up here. So we gotta put in our body what we came from. We came from the earth, fam. Well, actually, we came from the spirit realm, whatever. Manifested here in the third density. So this is our spirit realm for the physical, right? So once you get to going against nature, you have complications. You have bloating, you know, constipation, shit like that. Upset stomach, you can't process certain foods, you're starting to break out, now you're allergic to certain foods and all of that shit. It's because it's an imbalance on your default. There's an imbalance on your default. Your body has a certain amount of nutrients and all that stuff that you get while you're in the womb and when you're on that titty. This is key for proper fucking development. Now the thing is, all of that shit is tainted. You know, you got a lot of prenatal drugs and vitamins and all of that shit that these women take that'll mess these kids up before they even get here. That's why you got a lot of, you know, transitional shit going on, because you got these women taking prenatal drugs. Kids come out, you can already tell that that little motherfucker finna be gay by the age of 2 or 3. And it's crazy and it sounds insane saying some shit like that, but motherfuckers know. You ain't blind when you see what the fuck you see. You know that shit. This motherfucker is too young to be acting like that. You telling me this motherfucker ain't finna be gay when they grow up? You can see it in them, and it's messed up. They ain't got nothing. They can't do shit about that. It's not on them. It's about what the mother was consuming while that child was in the womb. It has everything to do with that. It's an unfortunate circumstance, but shit. Not only that, folks, what they put in these fucking foods, all of this soy, MSG, you know, shit like that. Fucking high fructose corn syrup, you got all of that shit. These are all sugars, hybrid shit. Sugars, salts, all hybrid. All emulsified, chemical added, fortified, whatever the fuck. It's all shit that shouldn't be in your body. It didn't come from the earth. It shouldn't be inside of you. This is why so much imbalance on the planet right now. We've lost touch with balance, fam. You got all of these foods that's pretty much anything that's in a package, anything that's wrapped in plastic is pretty much poison, my nigga. If that shit didn't grow from the ground, steer clear of it. Don't consume only bagged foods. You feel me? You got to keep that shit balanced. Get you some greens in you. Some actual greens, not just fruits, because you got a lot of GMO fruits floating around here. Obviously, you got to know how to decipher and see through that shit as well. This is the whole point of why I brought Miller Time on, why I did this shit. Not only for that, but based off of the people that I've been around in my own lifestyle too. Because it's not like I'm speaking out of like, oh, I'm just looking down on you motherfuckers. Like, no, I done been there too. Like a motherfucker like me, if y'all remember me from when I was younger, I was big as a motherfucker. Had health problems when I was young, nigga, in the teenage years. Fucking 13 and 14 with high cholesterol and high blood pressure and shit. Not understanding why I'm in fucking middle school and every fucking day I got a headache at a certain point in time in the day. Not realizing, folks, you damn near finna fucking have a goddamn stroke. Don't even realize the shit. I'm fucking 12 years old, fam. Not understanding why the fuck am I having these headaches and shit. But know that I'm eating all of these foods, these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and shit. You know, big ass breakfasts and shit. Is like, dog. I mean, my parents, I ain't gonna sit here and say like, oh yeah, they forced me to do all this, that, and the third. It looked like love to me, you know what I'm saying? They were none the wiser of what the fuck that shit was containing. They was like, oh, okay, well, here you go. I mean, we was all pretty big, but it's just like, you know, once I grew up, I just started to get on my health shit. I'm like, folks, I'm not trying to be big like this. I'm not trying to be this motherfucking big, this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? I'm like fucking 15, 16, like, bro, I gotta do something about this shit. Started getting out, cutting grass, you know what I'm saying, hooping a little bit and shit. But a nigga still felt like imbalanced. I'm just like, why the fuck am I feeling like this? So then as the years go on, as a nigga growing to, you know what I'm saying, knowing what the fuck the real is, I started to look into the religion aspect, and then I started looking to metaphysics and everything like that. And then Dr. Sebi came across the desk too when I'm doing all this research and deep diving. They talking about the sciences of the body and nature and the harmonics of 1.6, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what is this shit really talking about? Then I sat there and I watched a couple of documentaries on like food, the food industry and shit. It's called, like, one of them was called What the Health. That shit was an eye opener, folks. I'm like, bro, they legitimately are hand in hand. The food companies are hand in hand with the motherfucking pharmaceutical companies, folks. There's like, it's like they partners. We gonna put these foods out here for y'all to try, these new foods, these new drinks, these new sugary shit, this new salty shit. because we know y'all gonna keep coming back for it, and then you gonna get some type of problem from that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever organ system in your body is the most stressed, that's where that motherfucking disease is going. Please believe that. So let's say if you had asthma coming up or something, and you constantly eating bad foods and shit, well, you're still gonna have asthma and might develop into bronchitis. You feel me? Something like that. If you had like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you see what I'm saying? You gotta have some type of fucking balance. You gotta learn how to flush that shit out and keep your balanced diet. Keep your diet balanced. Because there's far too many of us dying at a young age from just shit that could have been prevented by simply changing up your lifestyle, your little eating habits. Now, starting off, I would try fasting. I would do, because I used to work at Quad Graphics some years back. So if I'm up in there for 12 hours a day, sometimes you ain't even got time to eat because it's a ridiculous ass schedule how they got shit set up in there. I would literally go the whole shift without eating anything. And I'm thinking like, damn, I gotta eat something, folks. I gotta hurry up and eat something because I'm gonna pass out. But I wasn't feeling like lightheaded or anything like that. So I'm like, bro, I actually feel good. And I didn't even have the urge to eat anything. But I'm just like, I have to eat something because me not knowing what the fuck I know now, I'm just like, in order for me to process anything and to have energy, I gotta have to eat something. No, that's not the case. Actually, you're better off just fasting from that shit. Just fasting. Give you a good little fucking intermittent fast going. Because once you do that, you get your body time to eliminate all that waste. You get your body time enough to metabolize all of the food that you ate. Especially if you ate a heavy meal. Starch heavy, meat heavy, something like that. You gotta give your body time to process everything. So it takes time to actually detox and actually keep a good pattern about that, because I know it's hard for a lot of people. You wake up first thing in the morning, you eating breakfast. You eating your eggs, your bacon, all of this shit that shouldn't even be in your fucking body. No fruits, no vegetables, nowhere to be seen. And you thinking that that's gonna give you energy when it does the exact opposite. You'll wake up, eat that shit, and you want to go right back to sleep because of all of that grease and shit. You don't feel like doing nothing. That's why you got a lot of groggy people in the morning. That's why you see Starbucks lines so motherfucking packed first thing in the morning, because they need some type of stimulant. They need that sugar. And then they crash about 2 hours into the shift talking about I'm ready to go home and all this shit. Because you overstimulated. You got too much sugar in your tank. And that's what's wrong with a lot of these niggas nowadays. They got a lot of sugar in their fucking tank. A lot of soy boys. A lot of sweet meat ass niggas. You can tell when they had high amounts of sugar in their system, bro, they start to act like bitches. There's a lot of estrogen growing in them. So keep that in mind. That's why a lot of niggas be acting like bitches. Estrogen. That sugar. Look, niggas, hear me up. Stay away. Avoid that sugar for about like a good 2 weeks, my nigga. No motherfucking added sugar, no type of motherfucking white sugar, none of that shit. If you gonna get any source of sugar, get that shit from some type of clover or manuka honey, nigga. Clover honey, manuka honey, good for you. Do that shit. And I'm telling you, bro, it'll make a gang of difference in your performance in the bedroom, nigga, in your confidence, all of that shit. I'm telling you, bro, that sugar make niggas sweet, bro. That's why they put it in everything. They trying to make niggas weak. That's one reason. And the other thing I wanted to point out too, shit, the whole marijuana thing, like, bro, I've been smoking, about like a good 10 years, and then I took a nice little fast from it. And then I went from just smoking the weed to getting actual vape carts with the Delta 8. So it's like you get the high, but you don't get the hunger with it. But it's like these shits are questionable too. I'm not even gonna hold you. That don't make it no fucking better, but it makes it more manageable. You feel me? So it's like, not only that, I don't even care to like vape frequently. It's like, this is not like a all day thing, all day, everyday thing. Like, I do this shit probably like 3-4 times a week. I'm not even gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? But I make sure I ain't got nothing planned out, no shit like that. So when you go into shit when you high, it just undershoots your performance. You look like a fucking fool. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm not downing nobody that's smoking weed. I'm just speaking off of what the fuck I done been through with that shit. It'll have you paranoid as fuck. It'll have you overthinking shit. This is just me though. It affects everybody differently, but ultimately I think we can all agree on that shit will not have you in the best state of mind. Even if you smoke. I mean, especially if you smoke too much. If you smoke too much, then obviously it's gonna be like, well shit, nigga. You comfortable with it. At one point in time, I'm just like, okay, I was smoking squares too. Newports, nigga. Damn near like a pack a day of them hoes. And some blunts. So nigga, I know. And I'm like, all right, I can quit these squares, bro, but I don't think that weed doing me no wrong. You know what I'm saying? I would never put the blame on the weed. I'm like, bro, the weed is from the earth. The weed is good. You know what I'm saying? Weed ain't never did nothing wrong. But then I really started to look at the shit with the rose-colored glasses off, and I said, man, fuck this. I gotta actually, like, look into, like, who else has experienced this shit that I'm experiencing by using this shit. Because I know I ain't the only one. Everybody's saying that weed is good for you, blah, 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 it's a miracle drug, but it's like, yeah, when you ingest it, not when you smoke it, you know. So I'm just watching these videos on YouTube and shit, how people was feeling, you know what I'm saying, once they started winging off the weed, and how their lives actually improved and shit. It's like, okay, they got more shit done, you know what I'm saying? They had the withdrawal stage, you know what I'm saying? It might take about a week, it might take a couple of weeks for you to actually get through the withdrawal stage, depending on how much you've been smoking and how good your diet is. That's why it's a good thing to actually have your shit in order. Like, if you trying to actually get off that shit and stop smoking weed, as far as eating anything, I'd advise y'all to try to get some type of smoothies or some shit. Get you some type of smoothie, bro. Get you some type of herbs. Get you some herbs that'll flush you, you know what I'm saying, and keep you well nourished too. You know what I'm saying? Because you definitely need your vitamins and minerals. That's why a lot of people be walking around here drained, because all the shit that you eat is just empty calories. We all know that shit. But yeah, and that's another thing about weed too. Like, fam, you would want to eat every fucking thing in sight. You would already eat some, smoke some weed, and then you get damn near get hungry again. And it's like, how the fuck that happened? I was just full like 5 minutes ago. Now I feel hungry and shit. I know damn well that food ain't go nowhere that fast. And that's how niggas put on weight. Because the first thing you grab, it ain't no motherfucking smoothie, ain't no apple, no orange, no banana. When you smoke, that's the last fucking thing on your mind. Or water, for that matter. Ain't that a bitch? It'll dry you out too. But that's the last thing we think of when we smoking. No one ever thought about prepping for the shit. This is probably why a lot of people got those paranoia trips, them little scary highs, as I call them. Where you all of a sudden your heart start beating fast and shit, and you just get to breathing heavy and shit. You thinking something finna happen, or somebody done laced you the whole time. It's like, nigga, you ain't got the right shit in your body to even be trying to smoke this shit. You're dehydrated. That's why your heart racing, nigga. See what I'm saying? It'd be shit like that. It's like, I get it. You probably been through something. That's why you smoking it. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We all gotta grow. You feel me? I ain't saying you gotta stop completely. I ain't even advising you to quit or do any type of fucking alterations of what you doing in your daily life. That's your choice. And I can respect that. But no, there's no right or wrong, only consequences. So if you out here smoking all day, every day, needing the blunt to go to the store, needing the blunt to go to this event, all that shit, I'm telling you folks, it's slowing you down, my nigga. It's slowing you down, and it's already fucking your head up. And I've recently heard Rizza Islam speaking on this, and a couple of other brothers. This was some years ago, about like at least 5 years ago, bro. So this is some old shit about how he put a chemical in the weed that actually make motherfuckers gay. Like, it actually alters their thinking. It makes them want to be with the same sex. It makes the women more masculine. It makes the men more feminine. Hey man, I was watching a few other clips that he had, and he pointed out some astronomical shit, like, and obviously I've been thinking about this shit too, but just bringing it back to remind a nigga, you feel me? Like, There's a reason why they putting this shit out here. There's a reason why they putting all of these fucking foods out here, these new motherfucking restaurants with these new foods. There's a reason why they legalizing weed now and backing it and still taxing the fuck out of y'all to actually legally have this shit. A la Illinois. That shit crazy. 35% on top of state tax for some weed. Government weed. Yeah, exactly. This ain't the older weed like the Colombian Gold and the Jack Herer. You know what I'm saying? Them strains, them older strains. We didn't even know weed had names of strains and shit. But yeah, it's all hybrid now. All of that kush, all of that is hybrid shit. That's not how it's naturally grown. We don't know the pH level of that. We don't know the harmonic of that. It grows, yeah, just like corn, right? And we all know corn is some GMO food, but that shit grows by the masses. They figured out how to take the original black seed, the black corn, and hybrid that shit to make it yellow or make it productive in mass in certain climates, basically. So now we got the corn industry booming. You got corn in everything you eat. The high fructose corn syrup, going back to that. You know, you got all of that shit in your food, and it's like, yeah, it's slowing you down. It's fucking you up. It's full of estrogen. It's a bunch of soy. You know, it just keeps you clogged up. It keeps you feminine as men. And that's another thing, too. Like, a lot of shit us men got to start doing, bro, is, for one, stop busting so many fucking nuts. You need that zinc, nigga. You need that zinc to maintain your motherfucking mentality, to maintain your solidarity, so that you can stand on shit, not be so fickle, not be so quick to give in, to consider somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You'll stand on your own once you actually retain that shit. Not only that, but that shit'll help you with your workouts too. You build muscle retaining that shit. You build muscle fasting too. That's the crazy part. Like, folks, when I first started working out, I'm thinking after every workout you supposed to be sore. That ain't the case. As I transitioned into incorporating the healthy shit into my diet, I figured out real quick, like, fam, you're not supposed to be sore after a workout. You're not. If you just not getting back to the swing of things, your muscles waking up and all that shit, I can understand that. But if you about like a good 6 months to 1 year in of consistently working out, ain't no fucking way you should still be sore. You should feel a pump. It should just be like a tight, you know what I'm saying, a super tight feeling. It ain't supposed to be no soreness and a little tension. No, it's just supposed to feel like a pump, like your skin just get real tight around that muscle area. You'll feel it. And the people that know what I'm talking about knows exactly what this is. This is a real gain. You feel me? You don't gain with a whole bunch of lactic acid just seeping into your muscles and shit. That's your body telling you, hey, something ain't right, something breaking down. This is acid in your bloodstream getting released because you overworking your muscles. Now, you can overwork your muscles, but because of the fuel that you use to fuel your muscles, if you using steak, chicken, and rice and shit like that, you gonna be sore after every fucking workout. Hell, you're more vulnerable to tears. You're more vulnerable to fucking injuries, all of that shit. Once you switch that diet up, learn how to fast, and learn how to stay on top of your water intake, I'm telling you, it makes a gang of a fucking difference. A gang of a difference. We gotta learn how to do that though. You know what I'm saying? And it takes time, but ultimately goes back to the title. You are what you eat. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind what you taking in. This is another thing I want to hit on. What are you actually listening to? You know what I'm saying? How does this help you in any way, shape, or form? Is it just gossip? Is it just rumors and all of this shit? What is it really? You know what I'm saying? How is this helping you better yourself? Is it self-empowering? Is it giving you information of how you can apply this shit and get certain things? Get to certain levels and shit? All we do is sit around, drink, smoke, gossip. I mean, that's the bulk of the world. I can't even say the black community, the world. Everybody doing that shit. Just because the motherfuckers live out there in the suburbs don't mean that they safe from that shit. Cause hell, it's probably more drug running and drug usage out there than any other place, but it's just limited space because you see, niggas only got so much money and information. So they can't make moves out to these places that these white folks at because these motherfuckers got their hands in everything already. That's how that shit go. But I'd encourage everybody, man, to just really start being on top of y'all shit, bro. And it seemed hard at first, man, but you just got to make those small changes in increments. You know what I'm saying? You got to microdose your way into being a better person. It's not going to happen overnight. But hopefully this can spark something in you to help you keep going or to help you get started. Whatever which way, I just hope you get through it. Till next time, y'all take care.